We are going to start on our back. So come all the way down. If you're comfortable with soles of the feet together and knees out, that's where we're going to start. If that's too much, it can be quite strong on the hips. You can always place a block beneath each thigh. I'll just show you. Or you can just stretch your legs out. Blocks just give a little bit of support. Hands on the belly, close the eyes. Take a big deep breath and let it go. Big deep breath and let it go. If to be there you have to grip and hold the thighs, then don't bother stretch the legs out, because what I want you to do is be able to relax here. I want you to let go of the weight of the inner thighs. I don't want you to feel that there's a grip or a hold. I want you to feel like there is a softness. Heavy through the shoulders. And as you do that, as you pull the shoulders down, you feel a little bit of an opening through the chest, a bit more space across the collarbones. Lift through the center of the chest, the breastbone, sternum. Breathe, expand the ribs. Exhale. Breathe, lift, expand the ribs. Exhale. So what you're really trying to do is, when you inhale, bring in a bigger breath, more air in the lungs, lift, expand. When you think you can't breathe in anymore, just take an extra sip of breath. And then exhale it all out, all the way. So maybe get to the bottom of the exhale and then push a bit more air out. Inhale all the way. Breathe in extra. And now all the way out. Breathe out, even more breath. Breathe in. And all the way out. Take two more like that, really big deep breaths where you have to pull in a bit extra at the top. And send out a little extra at the bottom. One final big breath here. Okay, then just let that go. If you were using blocks or your feet were out to, knees were out to the side, then just close the gap between the knees. Rest your feet down to the floor, arms the length of the body. All you're going to do is tuck the tailbones. It's the slightest lift through the tailbone, and then rock the tailbone down. So tuck the tailbone in, lift the tailbone, feel the lower back curl up off the floor. Exhale, roll it back down. So we're just controlling that movement between the sacrum and the lower back. So seeing if we can bring in a bit of movement there. It's often the lower back that we feel jarred up or stiff. So really just focus on moving that point. Even if you feel that the movement is not that big at all, it doesn't have to be a huge movement. Really, as you lift the tailbone, it's only going to feel like an inch or two of movement, not much more. And then exhale, roll that down. Find a bit of a rhythm with that. So you've got this up and down through the tailbone. And now I want you to add the breath. So as you let the tailbone go, take a big inhale. And as you tuck under, exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale. Exhale, tuck under, belly in. Inhale. Exhale, tuck navel to spine. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now I want you to get the tuck of the tailbone going a little bit further up the spine so the movement gets bigger, going towards the middle of the back. So rolling the lower back off the floor and then rolling the lower back down. So can you feel that there's a creeping of movement all the way up the spine? It's not one solid lift. It's like this curling motion. Feel the spine roll up and down. So really take your time. In the end, it doesn't feel like this very big movement at all, but I want you to be able to control that before we take it all the way up. Go for two more here. Okay, and then the next one, roll all the way up the spine to your first glute bridge. So the feet are pushing down, the hips are lifting, the spine is long. And as you push the feet down, squeeze the glutes. So you're supporting the back of the pelvis, navel into spine, supporting the lower back. Push down into the shoulders, feel the chest lift slightly. Push down into the feet. Feel the back of your thighs, your hamstrings working and holding on. 3, 2, 1. Roll that all the way down. Extend your left leg long. Bring your right knee into the chest. Holding on to the front of the right knee and just rock that right knee side to side. So just mobilizing that right hip side to side, or maybe you draw circles with the kneecap. So roll big circles round in that right hip socket. Trying to keep the left leg relaxed. So let the left toes turn out. Try to avoid that left hip holding on. Okay, and then if you were drawing circles, just go the other way so that you're not biased, not favoring one direction. Big circles. And then we pause. Take your right arm out to the side. Leave that arm there so it doesn't lift off the floor. Take that right knee all the way across the body. Simple twist. Open up through the spine. Maybe a little click or a crack through the back. That's okay. Let that right arm be heavy and you'll feel that stretch go all the way into the chest on the right-hand side. Breathe. Exhale. On that exhale breath, you might be able to just twist a little bit deeper. And then come back to center. Take your right leg, bring your left knee into the chest. Rotations or a rock side to side, you decide. Whatever feels good for you. But just remember that right leg, try and relax it. So turn your right toes out and let the right leg be a nice heavy weight. And just making sure you are going both ways, or you have gone both ways. And then left arm out. Left knee all the way over to the right side of your mat. Big twist. Breathe in and out. In and out. Pull it back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. And then instead of holding on the shins, hold just behind your thighs. A couple of times, you're just going to build some momentum and rock up and down the spine. 2 or 3 more until you catch yourself in a balance. So your feet will be off the floor and you'll be sat up. Navasana. So you're holding onto the back of the legs, boat pose, and then you're just going to reach your arms out, balancing on that point. So just think about pulling the waist in to support the lower back, lifting slightly through the crown of the head. Hold it. 3, 2, and 1. Cross your legs, come forwards with the hands, and step back to all fours. Breathe in. And breathe out, round the spine. Breathe in, look forwards. Extension. Breathe out, round into flexion. Extension, look forwards. Flexion, we round. Extension, look forwards. And flexion, we round. And neutral spine. Take your knees a bit wider, so you're more stable through the lower body. They're just to the edge of the mat. Left hand stays there. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Take a big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. Take that right arm all the way underneath the left side of the body and reach to the left side of the room. Inhale, lift up. Open the chest. Exhale, bring it through. Nice big rotation through the spine. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Chance to open through the chest and the shoulders as well. Exhale, take it through. Last one this side. Lift, open, stretch up. Exhale, take it through. Right hand down to the top of the mat. Left arm lifts, big breath in. Big breath out, thread through. Big breath in, lift, really spiral the chest open, nice and warm now. Exhale, take it through. Last two. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, reach. Final one. Breathe in, lift up, open the chest. And breathe out, take it through. Come to all fours. Tuck your toes and take your first long stretch back into downward facing dog. So take your time, lengthening into the backs of the legs. You encourage your heels down to the floor, but knees can be soft. You don't have to force the legs straight. You can still lengthen the heels down. Into the floor. So really trust your grip. Push into the heel of the hand, all 10 knuckles and all 10 fingertips. Soften the knees. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Forward fold. Relax the upper body. Take a breath in and a breath out. Take a breath in and a breath out. Keep your left hand there. Reach your right arm up to the sky. So open your chest towards the right side of the room. Both knees can be bent, or your left knee stays bent, and you might be able to straighten your right leg if you want to take it into the hamstring. Breathe. Keep lifting through those right fingertips. Bring it down. Switch things over. So your right hand goes to the floor. Left arm lifts. Either both knees stay soft, or you encourage that left leg straight. Hand lifts up towards the ceiling. Nice big opening through the backs of the legs. We go once more each side with the breath. So bring the left hand down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, bring it down. Place the hands to the top of the mat. Step your feet to the bottom of the mat. Downward facing dog. Feel the length through the waist. So imagine your hands are super glued to the floor. You can't possibly move them, but someone's lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch. Come down into the side of the waist and the lower back. Take your right leg up to the sky. Big breath in. Lift that right leg nice and high. Big breath out. Pull your right knee into the chest and step that right foot forwards. Rest your back knee down. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky, open and breathe. Exhale. In and out. Breathe in. Exhale. Take the arms out wide so you're reaching to the sides of the room. And then spin left arm forwards, right arm back. Take your left hand to the outside of the right thigh and encourage yourself into a deeper twist. So reach your right fingers back, push slightly into that left hand. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back to center, lift both arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands inside of your right foot. Tuck the back toes, straighten your back leg. Look just beyond the top of your yoga mat, so you don't need to look any further forwards, just looking slightly beyond the top of the mat. So your chest is open, you're long through the front of the body. Unlike if we look down to the floor, we have this tendency to round in. So we're just taking the gaze a little bit further forwards to keep the body open. Breathe. Exhale. Turn your left toes out, plant that foot down to the floor. Reach your left arm up to the sky, breathe in and out. In and out. Some of you will be very comfortable staying here, that's fine. If you want something a bit, take your right hand underneath your right thigh. Take your left hand behind your back and the hands will meet. Very welcome to stay with the right hand to the floor. If you're taking that bind, just make sure you don't lose the depth in your right knee. We're holding 3, 2, 1. Looking down to the floor, placing both hands down, turning your left knee and resting it down to the ground. Keep your left hand down and reach your right arm up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1. Open into that twist. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2. Inhale. Exhale. Last big breath. And then bring your right hand down. Take your right knee back, so both knees will be down on the mat. Lower all the way to the floor. Bring your feet together, squeeze the inner thighs together. Keep the feet and the lower body down on the ground. Inhale, lift just the chest. Exhale, lower. Just the chest. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. In. And out. Big breath, last one. Exhale. Tuck your toes, bend your knees, slide back to all fours, and then travel back into downward facing dog. Big breath in, and big breath out. Real length down the back of the right leg. Left leg high this time. Big breath, lift up towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and then pull that left knee in, step forwards. Rest your back knee down, and inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Long, big breath. Exhale, soften slightly further forwards. Don't drop forward. Slowly encourage space into that right hip. Breathe. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Last one. Exhale, reach your arms out wide, open your chest. Spin to the left, so your right arm will go forwards, left arm back. Hold on to the outside of your thigh. And give a gentle push. Reach those left fingers further back. Keep the spine tall whilst you take that twist. So as you're pushing into the hand, really try and think about keeping the chest lifted, keeping length up through the spine, and then twisting. Breathe in, bring it back to center, both arms up, inhale. Both arms down, exhale, they're inside of your left foot, tuck your back toes, long stretch through that right thigh, gazing forwards. So low but forwards with the gaze, nice and long through the neck, extended through the spine. Breathe in and out. 2 more, try not to rush the breath. Last one. And then turning your right toes out so they face the right side of the room, right foot stays down. Right arm lifts up, open the chest, breathe in, breathe out 1. Your option is to stay here. Whatever you're doing, you're keeping the depth in that left thigh, maybe left hand behind the back, right arm comes down as well, you find a bind, but you keep that bend in the left knee. Try not to, it's easier to straighten the leg. I want you to keep the depth. 3, 2, 1, both hands down. Turn and rest. Right knee to the floor. Lift your left arm up. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring that left hand down. Step both knees back. Look forwards, open the chest, breath in. Arch and round, breath out. Neutral spine. Bring your shoulders further forwards than your wrists. You're loading your body weight forwards. Bend the elbows to the waist and slowly lower, as slow as you can. 3, 2, 1. Find the floor. Point the toes, lift the feet, lift the chest. Breathe. Squeeze your glutes to lift the toes higher. Stretch the toes further back. So it's all posterior strength. Lift the hands. Back body strength. 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Slide back into a child's pose. Rest your hips all the way back. Take a big deep breath. Exhale, let it go. Big deep breath. Exhale, let it go. 2 more in and out. In and out. Rise to all fours. If you have blocks, place them at the top of the mat just so that you can grab them in a moment. From all fours, toes tucked, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel a bit warmer into the back of the legs so you can encourage a bit more stretch down through the hamstrings, into the calves, to the heels. Pull up through the waist, push down into the hands. Right leg high, inhale. Option 1, just keep reaching that right heel up to the sky. Option 2, bend your right knee and you're going to bring a stretch to the inside of the left thigh, front of the right knee. You can stay with that leg reaching up and back, or you're opening that right hip. You decide. The right knee comes in. Step it forwards. What might happen is it might come halfway, then you just have to grab your ankle, bring it forwards. Place 1 block inside of your right foot. Rise up, high lunge. Don't need it now, but we will in a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften that back knee. In and out. Arms are wide. Rotate to the right again. So left arm forwards, right arm back. Now imagine someone's pulling your left hand forwards and pulling your right hand back. So you really do feel yourself have to go more, have to go deeper into that twist. 2, 1. Come back through center. Inhale. All the way, face forwards. Exhale, warrior 2. Right arm forwards. Left toes turn out. Bend into that right knee. Breathe here. Exhale. Look to your block. If you don't have a block, your hand is going to go down to the floor. If you have a block, I would actually have it even higher than that. I would have it taller. Place your hand on the block and reach your left arm up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend more into that right knee. The more you bend into that right knee, the more you're going to feel the stretch on the inside of the right thigh. Now, a couple of you, your right shoulder, so the front of your right shoulder, just make sure it's not coming forwards. Pull back. So imagine you're trying to kind of lean the upper body back slightly. So you're not, I'm just going to show you this front on. It might be awkward for you to see where you are. Just be conscious this isn't happening because that's pushing onto the front of your shoulder joint. You want to keep that arm back. Big breath. Rise up, warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. You might need to walk that back foot in. Might be in an okay place already. Hinge from the right hip. Reach forwards, reach forwards, reach forwards. No bending yet, Amanda. Lean forwards, lean forwards. Right hand down, left arm up. Big breath in. Exhale. So you maintain as much space as possible in this right side of the body. So I want you to imagine if you were looking at yourself from behind and you had X-ray vision and you could see the spine wants to be parallel to the floor. Instead of arched, I want you to think that the spine is parallel to the ground. 3, 2, 1, bend that front knee again, rise back up, warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reach the right arm up to the sky, left hand can rest lightly down the left leg, big breath in and out. We're holding 2 more breaths here, so bend into that right knee. Find a big long stretch, Jodie, bend more, go on, yeah, that's it. 2 and 1. Take your hands all the way down to the top of the yoga mat. Rest your left knee to the floor. So bring that left knee down. Take your yoga block out of the way if you used one. Keep the left knee there. kick your right leg all the way back. So looking down to the floor, pull the waist in so you're not tempted to drop through the lower back, and kick that right heel as far away as you can, navel to spine. Left arm forwards, holding it. 3, 2, 1. Place your left hand down. Bring your right foot, step it all the way to the outside of the right hand. Big step. Inhale, lift both arms up to the sky. So you've got a wider than normal stance. Instead of my right foot being on the mat, it's out to the side. As you go forwards, that should be a bit stronger on the inner thighs. Breathe. Exhale. In. Exhale. 2 more. Try not to rush the last breath. And both hands come down. Step your right knee back next to your left knee. Tuck both toes, take it back into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Left leg high, inhale. Lifting that left leg, you can stay there, you're very welcome to keep the leg straight, or bend the left knee so the knee and the thigh open slightly to the left side of the room. Push that right heel down. Breathe. And then bringing that left foot forwards, you may need to grab the ankle, carry it forwards. You place the block inside of your left foot and rise up, high lunge. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften the shoulders. Shoulders don't need to be squashing the ears. And then the arms go wide like they did before. And we rotate open to the left this time. So right arm forwards, left arm back. And think about reaching forwards through that right arm. And you can feel it pull you further into that twist. Same with the back hand. Kind of pulls you into the twist. Breathe. Stretch and twist. Inhale, lift it back to center. Take a moment, just balance there in the middle before you open into warrior 2. Right toes out. You bend into that left knee. Keep the depth. It's easy to be here. A lot harder to go down. So just hold it a little bit lower. Get the most out of the practice. You're already here, so you may as well give it your all. You've given up the hour already. Left hand down to the block. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Space around the shoulders and the neck. Think about what I said. Not falling onto the inside of your left shoulder. So almost holding the chest proud and trying to pull the shoulders back. Rise back to warrior 2. Straighten your left leg. Shuffle your back foot in. Just once or twice. Now hinge from this left hip. Reach, reach, reach until you hit a place where you can't go any further. Then bring the left hand down and reach the right arm up. Open across the chest. Big deep breath. Exhale. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Think about that line of the spine parallel to the ground. Bend your front knee. Warrior 2, lift it up. Flip your front palm, reach and reverse. Big long stretch through that left side of the body. Really open it out. Take an extra couple of breaths here. And then windmill your hands all the way down to the top of the mat. Rest your right knee down. Take the block to the top, out of the way. Both hands are down. Right knee stays down. Left foot kicks back. Waist pulls in. So you're strong through the front of the body, and that left leg is reaching back. Right arm travels forwards. We hold it 3, 2, 1. Right hand down. Big step. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. And then reach both arms up. So I have this wider distance than normal from my right knee to my left heel. So that as I go forwards, not only is it the front of my right thigh that stretches, but a little bit of inner thigh. Breathe. Exhale. In and out. Big breath. Let it go. Hands come down to the floor. Take your right knee back. Both hands, both knees. Tuck your toes and just walk your hands back. Bring your little toe under as well. Get that stretch through the soles of the feet. Close the eyes. Rest the hands on the thighs. I know it isn't that pleasant, but just stick with it. It's a really good stretch for the plantar fascia, the sole of the foot. So you're just going to breathe it for 3. And don't rush those 3. Really make them count. Got to do a few things in the practice that challenge you or feel a little bit uncomfortable at the time so that you progress, so that you make some shifts in the body. Go on, one more breath. And then come forwards with the hands and just give your feet a bit of a shake out, maybe pat them out. You obviously don't have to get uncomfortable. You just won't progress very quickly. So you do want to do a little bit of challenge. Toes tucked, stretch back up, long extension through the backs of the legs. Now I want you to keep your feet flat to the floor and walk your hands back to your feet. So the opposite way to how we normally go to the top of the mat. We're going to walk into the back of the mat and relax the body forwards. Drop into that long stretch through the back of the body. Head is heavy. So there really is no weight, no tension through the back of the neck, the shoulders. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. And out. Reach your hands around, just hold the backs of the ankles so you can pull yourself a bit more into the depth of that fold. So can you use your arm strength, your grip, your shoulders, and then release the hands to the ground. Walk your hands forwards, all the way, all the way, all the way. And now your hands are flat and your feet walk forwards. So you should be near the top of your mat. If you have blocks, just separate them. We're going to use them in a moment for a balance. So you want both blocks nice and tall. And roll up through the spine. Taking your time, pull the waist in. Roll all the way. Big breath, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, draw a big circle, bring your arms all the way back. Challenge yourself to really reach back. Go 2 more. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, biggest circle, reach it back. 1 more, lift. And exhale, pull it back. Hands can stay down by the side. Chin goes into the chest. Roll the spine forward. So curl forwards through the spine. Rounding through the back until your hands get down to about shin height. And then you're going to take them to the blocks. If you don't have blocks, your fingertips will be to the floor. Adjust your feet so that you can keep this long spine here. So you don't want to have your feet in because then you'd have to be rounded. You want to have a good amount of space. I guess this is like torso length from your feet to your arms. Weight even through the upper body. Weight down through the left foot. Take your right leg back. Reach it back. Kick back. High. Lifting that right hip. Driving the heel to the back of the room. Breathe. Push down into your left foot. Take your right hand to your right hip and slowly open the pelvis to face the right side of the room. If you fall, just come back in. That's fine. Strong through the left leg, pushing down. Push into that left arm as well. Breathe. If you want to go higher, that right arm can reach up to the sky. Further still, for those that want it, you can bend that top leg and reach back for the foot. Some of you may well want that, but very welcome to stay with straight leg. Breathe. And if you fall, just come back. Coming all the way down, both hands down, both feet down. Bring the hands off the blocks. Ragdoll the body forward. Curl up through the spine. So articulate through each level of the spine. All the way. Cactus the arms out to the side. So come like this here. So arms out to the side. Keep your elbows high. Try not to let them drop. Bring the palms all the way down. So full internal rotation. Now I'll go sideways so you can see. Full internal, full external, full internal, full external. So working the space in the joint. You've no body weight. We're not, when we sometimes do things on our shoulders with the arms or with the hands on the ground, it's harder because we're carrying body weight. But here we should have maximal movement. Okay, go one more. And exhale. Arms down by the side, chin into chest. Roll it forwards. Roll it forwards, then take your hands to the blocks, straighten out through the spine. Push into your right foot, send your left leg back, nice and high. Heel kicks back, crown of the head reaches forwards. That's your starting point, so make that nice and strong. This is the most important part. Push down into your right foot. And then your right hand takes the weight, your left hand comes to the left hip. We slowly open. Slow, you don't need to rush. And if you fall, just come back. Maybe left arm lifts. Maybe top knee bends. Breathe. Just make sure your palm is facing to the left side of the room. If your left arm is reaching up to the sky, you want the thumb reaching to the top of your mat, palm facing the left. Okay, slowly bring it down. Both hands, both feet. Widen the space between your feet and come down into a squat position. If you struggle coming into that squat position, take your blocks and pop them under your heels so that you can rest on something. That's sometimes a bit easier. Hands can come into a prayer position so that your elbows can push the knees out. So you have this opening across the chest. You can encourage more space through the front of the body. Breathe. 2 and 1. Take your hands forwards. Maybe you have to step off your blocks and bring it back into downward facing dog. Then just pop your blocks to the side. Big breath. Exhale. Roll it forwards to a plank. Hold that plank position. Knees to halfway. Sorry, knees rest down. Upper body is coming halfway. So forwards and hold. 3, 2, 1. Rise back up. Just want to quickly show you something here. Hold it here. So like I said when we were doing that twist, didn't want you to drop into the front of your shoulder. When you do this movement with your knees up or down, I don't want you to drop into the front of the shoulder. So you want you to come to halfway and hold and then come back up. I don't want you to go halfway and then drop. So you see now all my weight is coming into the front of my shoulder joint. Same applies for when you're here, halfway upward facing, not halfway up, because it's just not nice into the shoulder joint, if that makes sense. Toes tuck, lift it back. Take a couple of breaths. just to come back in. I know that's a really short demonstration, but hopefully it helped. Just think about when you're coming forwards, having 90 degrees at the elbows instead of closing that angle down. And that should help. And if you keep your gaze to the top of the mat, helps you keep the chest open. Take your right leg up to the sky, big breath in. Right knee into the chest, big breath out, step forwards. Turn your left toes out, warrior two. Breathe in, breathe out. Straighten your right leg. And like you would reverse, flip your right palm, but we just have that right leg straight. Left hand goes down, right arm lifts up. So really do try and lift before you go back and then stretch back. So trying to create a long line from your right foot through the right hip, right shoulder, right fingertips. Breathe, really lengthen, push down into both feet. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, think about this. We're going to move into a high lunge. So you need to spin on the ball of that back foot and bring your left arm up and forwards. Inhale. Exhale, rest that back knee all the way down. Take your right hand, hold your left wrist, pull over to the right. Have a big, nice stretch through that left side of the body. Really challenge yourself to take it to the right. And come back to center. Take both hands down. Step your right leg back, find a plank position. So hold your plank, pull the waist in, navel to spine. If you want to practice that halfway and hold, you can do it with the knees down. Makes it a bit easier because it takes some of the body weight. So you go to there, push back up, or knees lifted, halfway, push back up, rest the knees. Sit all the way back into a check-in and out. Final one. Toes tuck, hips lift. Left leg goes high, breathe in. Left knee into the chest, breathe out. Step, turn your right toes out. Windmill open warrior two, so there's depth in that left thigh to start with. Then we straighten the left leg. Lift your left arm up to the sky and start to reach back, but make sure there's a lift up before you go back so that we aren't compressing that right side of the lower back. We're lifting the left side, not compressing the right side. Breathe. Exhale. Come back to warrior two. Think about your transition. You want to turn on your back toes, both arms up to the sky. We face forwards, high lunge. And then rest the back knee all the way down. Release the toes. Left hand holds your right wrist. Pull over so you get that big side stretch through the right. Pull to the left. Breathe. And bring it back to center. Both hands come down. Step back to all fours. This time lower all the way to the ground. So that's either off the knees or without the knees. Rest your head, make a pillow with the hands and just rest the forehead down. Give your hips a bit of a wriggle and a shake from side to side. Breathe in and out. In and out. Now, I'm going to give you two options here. This might not come across that easily by Zoom. First option is much more simply, your right forearm is going to cut across the mat. So my right forearm is down. My left hand is going to reach back for my left foot, and I'm going to push that left foot back so it pulls my shoulder open. Okay, so that's option one. Option two, if you can see my hand well enough, I'm starting with my hand facing out, and I want the inside of my foot to touch the inside of my hand, and then I bring my fingers over my toes. So my fingers are facing the same way as my toes. It's a bit more of a challenge into the shoulder. If you've done this before, you might know what I mean. If you haven't, probably best just holding onto the foot and finding that stretch. We'll come into that side now. So if you haven't already, either fingers are over the toes, more of a challenge, like I say, through the shoulder, and you're pulling that left foot in, whereas the other option is to use the foot to open your shoulder. Both open your shoulder and both open the hip. And then release that out and just take it over to the other side. So you're either holding the foot and that foot pushes back so that your right shoulder is lifted, or your hand comes over so your fingers wrap over the toes. Breathe in, breathe out. And that left forearm for everyone is there so you can almost push against it and you don't just fold forwards. Okay, release, and then let both legs go, give them a bit of a shake. Rest your forehead down. So you might have already gone there, because it took me a while to explain, but you can hold both feet if you like. You can try that. If you did the, let's call it the more weird grip, then you can try and do that now. It's frustrating to do it on your own. It's quite hard to get into, but and breathe whilst you do it. But that's there if you want it. I'll let you give it a go. I'm going to sit this out. But once you've done whatever you'd like to do, we're all going to come back into a child's pose. So you take your time. There's no rush. And we'll meet in a child's pose. And just with the forehead resting down. Breathe. Big, deep breaths. Imagine that as you're sat there, someone is almost pulling your hips back. So if they put their hands on your hips, they could pull you back. So you feel this sensation of length and stretch into the lower back. There's lots of space to breathe. You can breathe into your belly, expand the chest. And I want you to make sure that as you're breathing, you're also encouraging some movement into the upper back and the back of the lungs. So feel that slight rise in the back of the chest, the back of the shoulders, and that softening. Big, deep breath. Let it go. Rise up, come all the way up, have a seat, just cross your legs a moment, then we'll lie down for some stretches through the hips and the legs. Take your right fingertips out to the side, reach your left arm up, and I don't want you to just come straight down. I want you to walk the right fingertips away. See if you can keep that space through the right side of the body as you stretch the left. So really try and remind yourself to keep this lift between the right side of the ribs or the right armpit area and the floor. So you're leaning over something rather than just to the side. Lift your left fingertips higher. Feel that length into the left side of the waist. Again, this idea of lengthening one side rather than compressing the other side. And bring it back. Notice the difference through the middle when you come back to the center, and then take left fingertips out, right arm reaches up, lift, height and length, keep that space left side of the body, take it over, space, breathe. Don't collapse through the left, keep lifted. 2, 1. Slowly bring it back. And just come and lie down onto your back all the way. Roll it down. Left foot, bring it on top of your right thigh. From there, lift the right foot off the floor, hold around the back of the right thigh, thread the needle and pull that right thigh in. So as you're pulling the right thigh in, you should feel it in the outside of the left thigh, left hip. Try and keep the shoulders heavy. Try and keep the head relaxed, back of the neck. All just into that left hip. Breathe. 2, 1. Place your right foot down. And then from where that left ankle is, just take it even further over. So the left leg is over the right. And make that a twist. Knees go to the right. Left arm out. Gaze to the left. Breathe in. And out. Trying to lengthen that left side of the body. Bring it back to center. Hug your left knee into the chest and just take your right leg all the way down to the floor. Relax that right leg. Take a hold of your left foot with both hands and you're just going to try and kick that left leg up. It doesn't have to straighten. You just try and take a stretch into the back of that left leg. And we'll all get to a different place. It doesn't really matter where you get to, just as long as you feel that stretch. Slowly let it go. Plant that left foot to the floor. This time we take right ankle over left thigh. Thread the hands behind your left thigh and pull in. Pull in, stretches the outside of that right hip. Breathe. Try and tell that right hip to relax. Not hold on. Not fight. And then place your left foot down. Take your right leg over the left. There's a twist, so the knees go to the left. Gaze over to the right. Your right arm is out to the side. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Big deep breath. And then bring it back to center. Bring your right knee in. Take your left leg out. Give that left leg a shake. Hold to your right foot and kick up. Find that stretch in the back of the right leg. Your stretch doesn't have to be the same as anyone else's. Breathe. 2, 1. Slowly take it down. Take that right leg out. Shake it out. Wriggle the feet. Hands on the belly. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. And out. 3 breaths like you did at the start. So a really big inhale with an extra bit of inhale at the top. So you get all the air, you fill all that space, and then you exhale everything out. And it might mean that at the bottom you force a little bit extra out. 2 more. And exhale. And just let the body relax. Head, neck, shoulders. Through the torso, hips, down through the thighs, knees, ankle, feet, and toes. Allow around the eyes to be heavy as well. So just make sure that you aren't creasing or holding on to any tension around the eyes or the jaw. There can be a softness there. And you start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Really slowly, just bring one knee into the chest at a time. Hug the knees in. And lift the head, neck, shoulders to create a small round ball. And then bring that all the way up to a seat. Rock yourself up, cross the legs. Place the hands on the knees. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Thank you for coming to practice. Have a lovely Sunday.